Hi guys, so since we're in coffee harvesting season, I thought we'd record a nice video and just exchange more information about coffee with you guys. We've got some very nice beautiful plants here. They're all 3 years old. This was planted in May 2016. This whole plot actually. We've got some nice inga here next to it. We've got some lime and some other guanabanas and the eucalyptus. Everyone respecting its own strata, and it's really worked out really nicely in this specific plot here. Yeah, the inga bared fruit this year. In the second year, the flowers came through, but it didn't bear the fruit. It's still a little bit young, but from seed, it's 3 years old, bearing some nice fruit, and in this nice strata. I really like this consortium with the coffee there. I wanted to talk a little bit about how is it that we can make our coffee 3 years old really look so bombastic. We have other examples around here. Look at these coffee plants. Really chuffed about this. Heavyweight with fruit. I think if you plant coffee, you understand the general idea that, when it comes the first time round, usually 3 to 4 years, in our case 2 to 3 years here, it becomes beautiful, that beautiful harvest, and then every time it ages and then it's never the same again, and then every year it kind of drops in quality. So we've been kind of like really looking into strategies on how to prune it and how to keep up the good harvest, right? In the traditional method, they've got like yearly harvest systems, and then they've got bi-year, and then they've got like every 10 years. But they use mechanisms that's really aggressive to the plants. I'm not going to go into that, how they do it in the traditional way. How I've been discussing it with a few friends, and what we've been testing out here is pruning. Once you've harvested 70%, once the stalk has produced 70% of that stalk, give it a cut, remove that. All right, so I'll show you an example now. This is, we produced here more than 70%. So I'm gonna harvest the whole stem, the whole stalk here. This makes it really nice and neat as well with the harvest. We lose very little fruit by removing the whole lot. And so what would happen then? We'd end up removing most of the stalks that has produced, and we're lifting the skirt. Why? Because didn't we mention that it produces better when it's new, when it's young? So we're constantly having the new young stalks from the top booming. So we're constantly harvesting first time round coffee from first time round stalks. But then what will happen is it will get a bit tall, won't it? So that's when we're counting with the re-sprouts. You see? It's got this will to re-sprout from the bottom of the coffee, and we tend to cut that out and leave just the one main stem. I've worked in the past where I've left 3 stems and it didn't produce nicely, but that's because I wasn't giving it the radical prune as we harvest the beans. So see if you can follow it with me. We can leave the re-sprouts popping up. We can leave up to 3 re-sprouts popping up, as long as we're always pruning the stalks that has produced 70%. So in this case, you create a cycle. Once it becomes too tall to harvest, you've already got the bottom layer coming through and giving you a new harvest all again, so it's always fresh and new. So we could put it there like a 6-year cycle, 5 to 6 year cycle. You're always harvesting new, because the new stalks, the new stems are coming from the bottom, and I'm harvesting the fresh new beans from that. So it's all about the radical prune. This is our 2nd year in the system. We're going to go ahead and show you some that I've left from last year and what it's looking like now. We've already started skeleting it in this way. Okay, I might as well show you next door here. We've opened some beds to plant some new coffee. As you can see, it's not such a small bed. People don't tend to make holes this big to plant your coffee, but it really does make a big difference. This is what it's all about when you're harvesting in 2 to 3 years rather than 3 to 4. You know, if you give it a fresh, nice bed, if you give it a nice bit of manure in the beginning, it's going to be different. And the coffee loves coming with veg. It loves growing up with veg, you know, because it really needs, in that stage of its life, its first and second year, it really needs that kind of love that you give to your veg production. So if you've got your coffee, you know, with a 1-year-old seedling, 6 months or a year-old seedling, planted with all your veg, with your strawberries and other veg, and you're giving it that kind of irrigation, you gave it that kind of manure, then you're really going to see booming coffee here. Alright? So it really loves that kind of veg treatment in the beginning. In this situation here, it's a little bit different. This was fruit and this was veg beds in between the tree rows. 3 years later, I can't plant veg here anymore. It's all really gone shadow on me. So I'm going ahead and I'm going to plant acai, banana and coffee in the corridors. So I'm introducing coffee here at the second stage. You see, it's not the primary forest anymore. Right, so I'm hoping to fill in the gaps of the forest. I could have put in grass here. You know, the Guinea grass withholds half shade, so it would have been nice for the animals. I've done that in most cases in the farm. But Felipe's hooked me up with some really nice coffee seedlings, and you know, my girlfriend's brought me some nice acai seeds as well from her hometown. So you know, these are the things that that really, you know, things from the woods, things from forest. So we're gonna plant the acai with the coffee, and I love the classic. For every 3 coffees, 1 banana. Every 3 coffee, 1 banana. You know, who's gonna feed the coffee? The bananas are gonna feed the coffee. So we have every 3 coffees, 1 banana being planted here with acai every 20 centimeters a seed, really to see where it belongs, where it comes well within this corridor. I'm going to go ahead and show you one system that we prepared from last year. Alright, so as you can see, this is our chicken pen. This was one of our first forests that we planted here back in 2011, and we've used it for lots of experiments. We've kind of moved on to new areas with new techniques, and we've left this nice forest, which was like very much a classroom for us, for the chicken to, you know, live happily. And we've got several situations like this, several forests, older forests, where we introduce the chicken and let them be. We've got lovely, wonderful eggs from here. So it's not the best situation where it's not the most covered soil, but there is enough organic matter naturally that drops here. But here I'm going to be able to illustrate with you, because this is I started the pruning, the coffee pruning experiment here already from last year, and we can really see what's happening here. We've removed all the stalks that had been productive already. We've lifted the skirt. If you maybe take a step back and have a look, you see? And already we have two coffee plants, 3 coffee plants growing here. So what can we see? We're at a certain height now where it's going to become uncomfortable to keep on harvesting. But if you can see, please, all the new shoots, all the new coffee shoots. Okay, so we're going to have another great harvest from here. All this top head here is going to shoot, so we're going to have fresh new booming coffee at the top, right? The bottom already, look at this coffee tree coming up here. All new fresh coffee shoots coming through. So look, we've got booming new shoots everywhere. New shoots where I'm producing literally close to 100% of its stem. Look, all the way from the first second, third, all the way to the edge we're going to harvest. So we're going to have another super harvest. By doing this radical prune, we are able to have constant super coffee harvest. I'm hoping for it to confirm itself. This is, like I said, the second year. I can see from here that it's working out very nice. The people which shared this information with me, they're very experienced as well. Some young coffee growers from very traditional family, but they're trying new things and they've had great success with this kind of pruning. So obviously next year I'm cutting this main stem right underneath, and we start again with these new shoots, and we always lifting, cutting, radical prune. All right. Well, I hope, you know, we can discuss more. I don't know in your region if you guys have coffee, if you guys have the custom to plant coffee. You know what? Give it a go. You know, sometimes they tell me that in my region I can't plant coffee here because it's not the right climate. You know, sometimes you test things and it works out. Maybe it doesn't work in the conventional way, but if you've got a nice forestry system, you've got a good chance. Obviously, we're a nice height here. We're 1,200 meters high, and then you get the right kind of temperatures, perfect kind of temperatures for the coffee. But anywhere from 700 upwards, you can consider to produce real good quality Arabica coffee. All right. So from the Agroforestry Academy crew, let us know what you think. Any questions? Let's bring it up. I hope it's not been so confusing. I'm trying to put forward this idea. Not many people have been using it, so I will be coming back next year obviously and showing you guys how it's developed. All right. Obviously cutting it down at the bottom and letting it come new is always very good. When you give it that fresh cut and you wait another 2 years and you've got fresh new plant, it's always new. But in this way we don't have to have that 2-year gap. We're not cutting it at the bottom completely because we've left the shoot to come up already. So that shoot's coming up in the 3rd year. It's the time where this is going to be too high, and then that's kind of ready to, so you're constant harvesting new premium coffee. Alright, so once again from the Agroforestry Academy crew, live here from City to Jazz. I hope this was interesting for you. Stay in tune. Keep it pruned.